everyone! So welcome to card number 2 for the CCDesigns Fall. So starting off, I'm using my Stamp-a-magij, Momento Tuxedo Black, and the new Squirrels. This stamp is so cute. So what I do is I re-ink it and I stamp it 3 different times so that it gives me a crisp image. And then I go ahead and I start coloring with my Copis. For the squirrels, I use E44 as my lightest, E47, and E49. I went ahead and sped up this process just a little bit more. It did take a while since I was using these little tiny strokes and I had 2 squirrels to do. In the end, this is such a cute look to the squirrels when it's all done and it's all put together. For the inside, for like the squirrel's belly and the tail and around the eyes, I use E31, E33, and E34. I start off with E31 as my lightest and E34 as my darkest. I'm again using the same technique where I just take the little strokes and I go through and I just go ahead and start doing all the little parts. These little acorns are so cute and adorable. I decided that I want to go ahead and use YR23, 27, and E27. Even though I'm working with such a small little space, I still wanted to go ahead and do just a little bit of blending. So that's what I'm doing now. I want to give just a little bit more to the eye, so I did BG000 and then BG10. For the actual eye color, I use B04 and B00. So I want to do a green hue for the basket. I start off with G24, G28, and G29. I start off with the lightest, work my way to darker, and back again. I didn't want them just floating there, so I went ahead, drew a hill, and started adding grass. For this, I used YG61, 63, and 67, and I just go ahead going back and forth, making little strokes going in random directions. I just keep on building it into the way that I like it. To help blend and soften out the grass, I just go ahead along the bottom using that YG61. Next, I take my colorless blender and I just go over it a little bit more just to help fade it out. I use my white gel pen just to brighten up the eyes just a little bit more because they got a little bit lost, and I do a couple spots on the basket. On all my edges on this card, I went ahead with the Tim Holtz Distress ink and vintage photo, and I just inked up all the sides. To cut out my image, I went ahead, I used Spellbinders labels too. I just popped out of the frame and I also inked the edges of that. I wanted to pull the vintage photo and just make it appear as there was more dirt on the ground. sentiment, I'm using the new release. It's called AmyR Stamps Happy Harvest. I stamp it out and then I punch it out using my Stampin' Up! Modern Labels punch. I went ahead and distressed that too. As my base, I use Kraft's cardstock. I go ahead and I start assembling it, just making sure that I'm careful to line everything up. The paper that I'm using is from last year. It was from DCWV called Halloween Fall stack. Now I'm just adhering everything into the card front. I use dimensionals just to pop up my main image. I use a leaf strip punch by EK Success. It'll be listed down below if I have the name of this punch. And I just go ahead, cut off the extra that was hanging off the sides, and just make sure I blended it in. Now I'm taking my sentiment and I'm just popping it up on foam dots and then placing it right on the leaves. It looks perfect there. I also had another punch where I took these little acorns from the punch and I just distressed them a little bit, and I'm placing them randomly so it looks like they've fallen down on the ground. Now, moving on to the inside of the card, I'm just starting to assemble everything into place. For the inside, I also use the same Spellbinders labels to die. I also use the same EK Success punch, and I just go ahead, glue that down to the inside of the card also. Originally I was going to use a different sentiment, but I decided to go ahead using my Stamp-a-magij and some Momento Tuxedo black ink. I line it up and I just stamp it out. I also want to add some more of these acorns, so I just go ahead using my Tombow mono and do a little dab of glue, and I put them on the little corners just to complete the inside of the card. Felt the outside needed just one more of the acorn, so I just placed it up in the top left corner. So that completes my card for today. I hope you like. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.